in to another edition of The Edge presented by GodfatherLocks.com. I'm your host, Sean Brace, joined as always by Mr. GodfatherLocks.com himself. GF, how are we doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Sean, and another big college football weekend. This was probably one of the biggest ones yet in the top 25.
That's right. Winning weekend, 13 of 18, happening at GodfatherLocks.com. Do yourself a favor, get over to the site. All plays are documented, and if you see something you like, make sure you use promo code EDGE, E-D-G-E, one word, for 10% off. Godfather Locks, let's dive right into these matchups. Let's go ahead and head down to Florida, all right? Florida State, Clemson. Clemson's an amazing ball club. Number one, that's right, number one on the list when the rankings just came out this week. Great game, though. FSU, no slouch.
No slouch, and they're coming off 2 weeks ago. They lost the game to Georgia Tech with that blocked field goal scoops, all that craziness that happened. They came back last week and beat Syracuse. This game is interesting, Sean, because Clemson, I know one of your squads that you like to follow, we talked about them last week, is what team shows up? Is it the team that's going to be led by Deshaun Watson and put up 58 points that they did 2 weeks ago? Or is it a defensive team, which they shut out that same very squad in Miami 2 weeks ago? Or last week against NC State, where their offense just gets rolling. It might start slow, but they get rolling. This is an interesting spot, though. This line is inflated. 12.5 points is a lot of points for Florida State to be grabbing. I understand you're playing in Death Valley. I understand the rock and the whole momentum of the atmosphere is Clemson. I'm leaning towards Florida State. That's disrespectful for a 12.5 point line. That's Vegas telling you that they're number one now, they're feeling themselves, let's make them a double-digit favorite. Not so fast.
Yeah. All right, moving on. One of the games that's not getting enough attention in my mind, all right? Both undefeated, TCU and Oklahoma State in OKSt. Both of them 8-0. 5.5 point spread. Yeah. TCU's the favorite here.
Well, as I look at my notes here real quick, Sean, and I look at this is one of those games I did an intensive breakdown on, which I do normally on a Saturday morning or a Sunday. I like to look in, but now that we're doing the Edge, it's actually the game that I love the most, and here's why. TCU is a team that the odds makers, whether the line opens on 1 point, against West Virginia, opened up at 14 and drops all the way to 10. Money's coming in against TCU way too much. I'm very surprised by it when I look at the numbers of why people, public bettors, are betting against Trayvon Boykin and TCU. It doesn't make any sense. This team is a top 10 team. They're clutch, but for some reason they keep falling in the rankings. Yeah. Makes no sense. 5.5 on the road is exactly where I put it. Oklahoma State dropped about 70 points last week against Texas Tech. They're no joke. They have an offense, but TCU's got both sides of the ball. Lay the 5.5 points if I'm leaning. I know I'm giving out little 2 free plays here. I would lay the points and have trust in this offense in TCU.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. And obviously, on to the premier matchup of the night. I can't wait for this game. Yeah. That's right. LSU, Alabama, Bama at home, a 6.5 point favorite at home. LSU is the best team in the country,
yeah. Well, best running back in the country lives in LSU and Leonard Fournette. And that's why the odds makers now, this could be one of those games where you look at it and you said, well, that line's telling me Alabama, because that should not be 6.5. I just told you it should be 3. That's an NFL-style game that we have here in Alabama. Here's the issue with this game. This has a bigger impact on what's going to happen, whether it's the playoffs or whatever. People expect that if Alabama loses 2 games, they're done. They're out. Yep. The SEC, we all know that the country loves the SEC.
Very true.
This is the Super Bowl, not for Alabama. This is for LSU. And the reason why I say that is because they're the undefeated team. They're number 4. They need to make an impression where they can then say, okay, we can make that jump to being the top 3, maybe even 1. Yeah. If they beat Bama impressively, they'll probably overtake Clemson. That's how big this game is. So the line inflated. Now, is it a trap or is it because it's LSU Super Bowl? I have the answer. I can't give this one for free, Sean.
No.
I'm remiss to give this one out because I can't tell you where I'm at. I did a double intensive research, if I can say that, on this game because people buy for these type games. Sure. I know if you're listening to the Edge, you're like, man, who does he have between LSU and Bama? Because you'll be at the bar, you'll be betting it. I understand how the public works. I know what games get you juiced. You don't care about Ohio versus Bowling Green. You want to see Alabama, LSU.
Sure. Out of the 4 teams that were just number 1 through 4, top 4, who's the best team in the country right now in your mind?
I say a healthy. Well, now that JT Barrett's out with that whole misdemeanor and everything, I'd say a healthy Alabama team is the best team right now. As much as I hate to say it, because you know why? It's their defense again. They're playing back what Nick Saban's used to. He's used to that defense. The key to LSU is the run game. They can't pass, Sean. They're in the 260 range when it comes to passing yards. They don't pass. They don't have that passing game. So if they continue to run the ball effectively, sure, they're the best team. It's hard to do for a whole season.
It's going to be a fun weekend at GodfatherLocks.com. Once again, get over to the site, check it out for yourself. All plays are documented. Winning weekend, 13 of 18, is happening this weekend at GodfatherLocks.com. Once again, use promo code EDGE, E-D-G-E, one word, for 10% off.